right. It is a Thursday morning, and of course, that means we get to talk Cleveland Guardians baseball today. We have Bobby DiBiasio with us as we do. Him and Rosie, they take turns. I get to visit with both of them, which is always fun. How are you, Bob?
Doing great, Pam. How are you?
I think I'm glad that the weather has finally turned in our direction.
Absolutely. Very wet month of May. We got through it. Okay, a couple rainouts throughout the month, but now
Yeah.
hopefully we're returning home after a short 3 game series at Yankee Stadium, and of course there's a teeny bit of rain in the forecast because we're home. So we'll get through it all. Though we got Houston and Cincinnati coming to town for a quick 6 game homestand. Then we go on the road for a 3-city West Coast trip, and should be fun this weekend. Though Houston comes to town, they've taken over the top spot in the American League West, just overtook Seattle, and our promotional calendar is chock full of fun. So should be a great weekend at Progressive Field.
Yeah, that's what I was just talking about. A lot of fun stuff going on as far as with the upcoming homestand, and let's also talk a little bit about getting David Fry back. That was pretty cool, right?
Yep, having David, just such a important piece of who we were last year, and I know this ball club missed him. Really tough for a guy. Sure, we've talked about it in the past, Pam, but there's nothing more difficult for a professional athlete than the isolation of rehab. He's out in Goodyear like Shane Bieber, and you do your work, and then you go and watch the guys on television, and you wish you could be in the dugout. You miss them terribly, and but now he's back and just getting into the flow. It's going to be nice to have that big bat in the lineup again. And then just around the corner, with a start tomorrow night for the Rubber Ducks, Shane Bieber, hopefully just a month away. You need to give him a time to probably get about 4 starts so he could start, see how his body reacts in the 4 days in between starts. And you need to do that at least 4 times, and keep our fingers crossed everything goes well. Adding him to our starting rotation could be a heck of a boost to this ball club.
Yeah, it's amazing. I'm sure it has not gone fast for him. I'm sure, but but it's good. It's good to hear his name in the mix. The ones coming back. And you were talking about players and how it's hard for them when they're on that kind of a stint. The trade deadline's like what, 8 weeks away, something like that, a little less than
Right.
that. And the rumors are already starting and all those things. You've been around a while, like what's that like for a player to sit there and go, oh my gosh,
Yeah, the first thing they do is they text their buddies in the game, not only their teammates. They don't talk about it as much in the clubhouse simply because they're focused on winning that game, and that's not a whole lot of conversation, but they have friends all around baseball. So, that's who they'll text, and they'll text and call their agent when it gets close in. What are you hearing? What are you hearing? I'm hearing X, Y, and Z. People telling me my name's being bounced around. I don't want to go anywhere. And on the other hand, for the ball club, the general managers and the manager and coaching staff, it's really difficult. Like last year, all of a sudden we rebound from a down year and we're in first place all year, and we know we have a good team and we're keeping consistent to make the postseason. Do you mess up with the chemistry for a player that may only be around for a few months?
Yeah.
How much do you give up? It's a heck of a poker game for the ball club. As for the player, if you're playing on a team that's struggling and then all of a sudden you get to join a locker room that is fighting for the postseason or has a good chance, then you get pretty excited. So there's both ends of it. It's pretty interesting. But players, that's a hard thing when your name's always bandied about and you have to keep your mind focused on the day at hand. That's not always easy.
Yeah, it makes me nervous too. Like you said, do you mess up the chemistry? Like you just don't know.
Right. You never know. And most of the time, if you're acquiring somebody, especially a middle market baseball team, that you can have control of for 2-3 years, then a deal makes sense. But if you're going to unload your farm system for somebody that you're going to have for just a few months, no guarantees that that's going to change the nature of your ball club. That's why you have to have one eye on today, one eye on tomorrow, and that poker game that the front office has to play.
All right, I'm going to put you on the spot here, but what deadline trade do you remember the most? Do you think is there one that's
the one that I remember the most, only because it was done unfortunately crazily, was us trading Bartolo Colon to the Montreal Expos.
Yeah.
And we got Grady Sizemore and Cliff Lee and Brandon Phillips. I mean, it was a heck of a deal.
Yeah.
We had an agreement with us. I'll tell the story quickly. We had an agreement with the Expos and the PR people that we both were going to wait until our games were complete so that we could tell the players what the trade was. We didn't want it leaking during our game or their game. And they're in Pittsburgh, and all of a sudden the Expos in Pittsburgh are in a long rain delay.
Oh, no.
And I start getting phone calls in our press box about, wait a minute, you guys traded Bartolo Colon. You know, people in Pittsburgh and the Expos writers were calling saying, is this true? And it turned out that the Expo PR guy told everybody during a rain delay, and he phrased it as they got Bartolo Colon for a guy named Lee Stevens, who was a serviceable first Major League Baseball first baseman, and 3 minor leaguers. Didn't even mention them. Our side, our release was we've acquired 3 top prospects in Grady Sizemore, Cliff Lee, Brandon Phillips for Bartolo Colon and big leaguer Lee Stevens. So we had it completely flipped. And I just remember people just ruining us that we traded Bartolo Colon for a guy, you know, a serviceable first baseman. Like, what in the heck are you doing? And then ended up Grady Sizemore, pretty darn good player. Cliff wins the side.
Fan favorite, no doubt.
Unfortunately, goes and plays real well with Cincinnati, but it was a heck of a deal. So that's the one, only because of the machinations of the deal, sticks in my head.
Absolutely. That's a great memory. Great memory. All right, sir. Well, you enjoy the homestand when it comes, and we will talk again soon.
Thank you, Pam. Have a great weekend. Go Guardians.
Now